Now, I had a proposal once that was completed 15 minutes before the deadline. 15 minutes. It was supposed to be submitted on Assist. And the problem was that there was some sort of technical issue happening with Assist at the time, and only one person could get into it as the SO. And that person was in a yoga class, right? We literally had to chase this person into their yoga studio, pull them out of class, embarrassing them in the process, and disrupting the class and the workflow of another organization, interfering with their private time to get them to get this grant submitted. That is wrong on like so many levels, and it could easily have been mitigated with a culture shift of prioritizing timelines and people over submitting at all costs. More than that, though, what if we hadn't been able to get a hold of this person? The grant wouldn't have gone in. What if we didn't know this person was at their yoga class and we didn't know where their yoga class was so we could call them, right? Like, these are the things that we have to think about in terms of the deadline. It's really not just about do what we're telling you to do as much as it's about we know the things that can happen when a grant is submitted 10 minutes before the sponsor deadline. So if the grant had, let's say, been submitted 5 to 7 days before the last minute, that would have given us ample time to solve the problem without it becoming an emergency. I remember that day so vividly because the PI kept saying it was an emergency. It was an emergency when it really was an emergency of their own making, right? No one wants to submit a grant that way, not even a PI. But often we don't actually know how to make the change, right? How do we shift? How do we turn this ship when we have been submitting grants at all costs with no internal deadline enforcement and everybody's been running around and submitting whenever they want, as late as they want? How do you make that change on both the PI, the RA, the institutional, and on a cultural level? That is a big ship to turn.